Okay, so today I want to talk to you about how healing from chronic illness myself has taught me so much about what it really takes to become a truly independent artist. Hi, I'm Fiona Flyte, and it is my passion and privilege to help artists with the extraordinary journeys of becoming what it requires to have a successful career in the internet age. And this means a mastering of so many different pieces of the puzzle. It's not just about posting on social media. It's not just about making offers and knowing how to sell them. It's not just about attracting visibility. It's not just about selling out your concerts. It's not just about developing charisma online and off. Which brings us back exactly to where I started, which is about how I healed myself from chronic illness. So what happened is, in this case, and I've had a variety of illnesses to share with you, but today we're going to speak just about this one very specific year-long experience of developing a rash. It was a very small rash, and it happened, I'm not quite sure whether it was like an allergy to shellfish. I was in France, or whether it was the watch that my boyfriend had that I was wearing that like cut into my skin. But however it started, I developed this little rash on my wrist, and I went to the dermatologist like I thought I was supposed to. And the dermatologist said, "Oh, you have a rash, and here is some steroid cream, and you should use this every day for a week. And then that's the treatment." And I was like, okay, great. So I went and I put the cream on every day, and it went away, and it was going away and away and away. And then the week ended and it was like, woo, it's gone. Except the next day, day 8, suddenly the rash was back, and it wasn't just localized, it had spread up my entire arm. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole year-long healing process, but what I do want to say is that I went back to the dermatologist and I said, there's something wrong. I used the steroid cream and now the rash is up my entire arm. And the dermatologist said, "Oh, what a pity. It looks like you have adult onset dermatitis," which basically meant, according to the dermatologist, that this was something that I was going to live with for the rest of my life, and I had to treat it with steroids, and that was that. And I thought, how do I develop adult onset dermatitis now? And like forever, I'm going to be dealing with steroids this does not compute. It doesn't make sense. And so this was the trigger for my whole healing journey. Now, what I really want you to take away from this story, which I'm going to then tie into being an independent artist and online business, is that in Western medicine and in this particular experience, it was a specialized person, like a doctor that specialized in one thing, in dermatology, in skin. And this specialty made the doctor focus on just that one area and treat the symptom. So this is very, very common in Western medicine, is the treating of the symptom. So we treated the symptom of rash with steroid cream. Now, we don't care in this modality what the side effects are of living on steroids for the rest of your life. I cared, but in the laser focus of how can we get rid of the rash in the most expedient way, it was apply a steroid cream and then continue to apply a steroid cream. Now, I decided that there had to be a bigger picture here. There had to be more. And this was the beginning of a very long, so there was a year with the rash story, and then there's just this ongoing obsession that I have with holistic healing, with natural health, with nutrition, with food and how we fuel our bodies. I became very obsessed, and I'm still obsessed. and so, but what I wanted to say is that it's all about treating the symptom instead of the whole person. And this is something that I've carried with me on my ongoing sort of healing exploration, healing journey, spiritual journey, personal development journey. They are all connected for me. And that is very much part of what I want to share with you today, is that we are not just a series of separate symptoms. And this is one of the problems with Western medicine, is how specialized each doctor is, and that there isn't an overarching looking at the patient as a whole. Like there kind of is supposed to be with a general practitioner who's like, but how often is your general practitioner leading the team of specialists? It's like there is a specialist sort of leading the team of specialists. And I'm dealing with a lot of this right now with my mom, as my mom is aging and dealing with a lot of different medical things. So I'm not trying to just diss on Western medicine right now. I'm only focusing very specifically on the idea of treating symptoms versus looking at the whole picture of the person. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is how it relates to you as an artist. Because you as an artist are often looking at, how do I fix the symptom? And this is something that I did a lot, as I was developing myself as a singer. It was like the symptom was my high notes. How can I have better high notes? Well, I get better at my high notes, but I'm still not getting all the work that I want. Okay, so now I'm treating the symptom of, being a better singer. How can I have better technique? Okay. Then in the opera world, it's like, well, my diction isn't perfect, so I'm meeting with a specialist for diction, and I'm meeting with a specialist for the musicality, and I'm meeting with a specialist for the technique. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with meeting with specialists. Like, this is incredible that as an opera singer, I had access to all of these people who could help me in very specific ways. However, I then, as an individual person, had to integrate all of these different things that I'm being told. And sometimes they clashed. Now, the place that I had the most difficulty was the technique. I was very good at technique, but it was technique over expression. And this is common for a lot of classical musicians and opera singers, I believe. Certainly it was my experience that focus on technique and even all of the different pieces, focus on the exact right diction and focus on the exact right technique and focus on exactly the breath support and focus on all of these like specializations of focus, took me away from that fullness of my expression, from the full creative like explosion of who I was, because I was so in the weeds with the specialization. Now, I want to make another jump with you into your business as a whole. So a lot of the time people come to me to work on the strategy behind, getting more engagement or improving your marketing or making more sales. And I do all of that. But what I realized is that I don't really 100% identify with the words business coach or social media strategist. Those are a part of what I do. But my true focus and my true passion is a holistic hero's journey for the person, like the wholeness of the person. Because what I've observed is that I can give you a great strategy, but you don't execute on it. Well, why? And why could be because you're afraid. It could be because there's fear around visibility, there's fear around being seen, there's fear around people liking or not liking you. Okay, could be that. But also sometimes I could give you a strategy and you could not do it, thinking that there's something wrong with you, that you're procrastinating, that you don't have willpower, when actually that particular strategy for you is misaligned. Now, what I mean by misaligned is that it doesn't resonate with the fullness of who you are. Maybe it does. Maybe your values and that strategy just don't quite match. Like, it's a perfect strategy for somebody else with different values, different focus, different life experience, whatever. But for you, for whatever reason, it's not a match. Now, it's my job as a coach to be able to support you regardless of whether the strategies I introduce are in alignment or out of alignment. I need to be able to help you identify whether this is or isn't a fit for you. And so I see my role as coach as far more holistic. I see myself more as like this full-on holistic practitioner who's helping you to step into your power, into your true knowingness. So I never ask a client to do one of my strategies because it's the only strategy, just because it's the strategy that works for me. No. No, no, no. And I've had people do that to me. I've had people say, this is the strategy. You have to follow that strategy to get results. And then I come forward and I say, yeah, I trust you. I love what you're doing. However, that strategy doesn't feel in alignment with me. It doesn't match core values that I have. And it's not a judgment on them. They can absolutely function differently. We all get to have different values and function differently. But I then received the feedback that it was my fault and I should just do it their way. Well, that's never the way that I'm going to coach someone. I'm going to help you to find what is it that is fundamental to you? Which strategies are the right strategies for you? However, we have to have discernment, because sometimes it's misalignment, but other times there is fear. There is something that needs to shift and go on. And that's when we have to do inner work. That's when we focus in on confidence building and unleashing your creativity and personal power and personal expression and the expansion of all you are and the stepping into your true power. This is why I love my work. It's because I'm not just focusing on helping you with the strategy, although I love that. I'm also helping you with the mindset and the energetics. So if you find that you've been putting a massive amount of energy into some aspect of your career or business as an artist and it just isn't paying off, you just aren't getting the results that you feel like you should be getting from that particular strategy, it's highly likely that there's a mindset or an energetic piece that is at odds with the strategy. And it is our job to uncover what that is and work through it so that you can get to the other side and really build the kind of life and career and business as an artist that I believe you deserve. So my point here is, let's focus less on symptoms like I have low engagement or I'm not making sales. Let's focus less on the symptom and more on the big picture holistic cure that's actually going to lead you towards the success that you're truly desiring. Now, if you are not already following me on Instagram and Facebook, go ahead and do that, because I do lots of lives and lots of creative content over there. I have a free Facebook group where I do deepening calls on my lives and my YouTube videos, and that happens on Wednesdays right now. So hop on over to my Facebook group. It's totally free. The link is in the description. Subscribe to my channel here as well. And as always, go out into the world and shine your light. You have a voice, you deserve to be heard, and the world deserves to hear you.